Hi all, this is Anjali, and in this video we'll be discussing how to use variables, constants, data types and arithmetic operators in Python. So like in the last video I just told you like why should we do Python and how to program in Python, means which interface, which software you should use to code in Python. So throughout this session, this video, I'll be using the Jupyter notebook to explain you the concept of all these things. Okay, so let's start with the very basic thing, that is variable. Now for any programming language, whatever language you're working with, the basic thing is the data. You have to work on some values. I might need to perform some calculations, I might need to check some conditions or whatever, but that all is based on some values. Those values need to be stored somewhere. So where you store those values? Those values are stored in variables. So variable is also defined as a named memory location which is used to store the data, because whatever my program needs for the current execution of the program, that has to be stored in RAM, random access memory, and we don't know that at which address my value is going to be stored, and you don't need to know that address. We can give it a name and we can refer to that memory location with the help of that name. And that name is actually the variable name. Like you can see over here, I've written num is equal to 10. So num is the variable name here and 10 is the value for that. Then it's also called as variable because its value can be modified anytime during execution of the program. If I put 10 in num in one statement, later on I want to put 25 in that, I can write num is equal to 25. So that changes the value of the variable. So I can modify a variable anytime during the execution of my program. Variable could be of any type. In Python, we don't need to specify the data type before using the variable, unlike your other languages like C++, Java, C Sharp and all. So if I have to work in Java, I need to write like int num. I need to specify that num is going to be a variable which can store a value of type integer. But in Python, it's not required. You just directly take a name and put some value into it. According to the type of value which we are putting in the variable, Python decides the data type of the variable. So it could be a number, it could be a number with point, or it could be characters. But always remember, when you have characters, that means a collection of characters like this, you have to put it in quotes. In Python, both single and double quotes work for the same thing. Then we have constants. Constants are the values which remain same during the execution of the program. For example, I need to write the formula for a area of a circle. That formula would be 3.14 into r into r. Now this r is the radius, which could be anything. Its value can be anything, but that 3.14 will always remain the same. That's the value of pi. Pi r square is the formula. So 3.14 is never going to change in the execution of the program. So that's a constant value. So whenever we work on data, data can be in two categories. It could be variable, it could be constant. Then we have the type of data, which type of value you can work with. So in Python, we have these major data types available. We have integers, that is the numbers which don't have a fractional part, like a whole number. 386, 197, minus 210, something like that. So when you don't have points, those are called integers. When I do have points, those are floats. Floats means I have decimal in that. I have 31.5, 9.0, so those are treated as floats. Then you have character. Character is any printable character on the keyboard. It need not to be an alphabet specifically. It could be an alphabet, it could be a special symbol, it could be a digit, it could be any character on the keyboard, but it has to be given in quotes. You have to give it in quotes to show that it's not another value, it's a character. When you have multiple characters together, it is called a string. So if I write P, that's a character, but if I write Python in quotes, that becomes a string. Then the values can be of type Boolean. Boolean can have only two values possible, true or false. Python is case sensitive, so when you write true, the T should be capital in true, and in false, F should be capital, rest of the letters should be small. So we'll be doing how to use everything in the coding as well. First, I'll just give you a brief of all these things. Then we would be coding with all such stuff. So then we have got to know what are variables, what are constants, and which data types you can use for having them. But then what do you have to do with the data? We need to perform some calculations. So to perform some calculations on specifically numeric data, we have these arithmetic operators possible. Python provides you these 6 arithmetic operators, that is multiply, divide, integer division, integer remainder, plus and minus. So these are the basic operators, and in programming the expressions are evaluated on the basis of precedence. So the first 4 are on the same level, plus and minus are on the lower level. That means if any of these 4 operators are there in the expression, they will be evaluated on first come basis. So whichever comes first is evaluated first. Once we have solved all 4, then we go for plus and minus again on first come basis. So this is to multiply. It will multiply 2 numbers and give you the product. This will divide. This will divide and give you the proper result after the division. Like if I write 5 upon 2, it will give me 2.5. But this one is for integer division, and you only want the quotient, you don't want the remainder. So what you want is that if I divide 5 by 2, 5 and 2 are integers, I should not get 2.5, I should get 2, which is the quotient value. So we can get that with the help of double slash. And this is modulus operator, which will give you the remainder. So again, it works with integers only. So if you write mod, it will give you the remainder. So this one gives you the quotient and this one gives you the remainder. Plus simply adds, minus simply subtracts. So these are the basic arithmetic operators we have. Now in this video, we will be discussing few of the programs out of this. I've listed 5 programs which we can make with the basic concept of variables, constants, and arithmetic operators. These could be like, I have to find the area and perimeter, that's input, length and breadth of a rectangle, and print its area and perimeter. Okay, let's say if I have to do this, so what I would be doing is I have to start the Jupyter notebook. Just to start the Jupyter notebook, I'll write try.jupyter.org like I told you in the last video. So this would open the online Jupyter notebook. I click with Python. So this is going to open the Jupyter notebook for Python. We have option for Julia, R and everything, but we want to work with Python. So we are going to start with the Python notebook. And whenever you write a very basic program, the program goes in 3 steps. That is input, process, output. If I have to find area and perimeter of a rectangle, so I have to input the length and breadth, then I have to find the area and perimeter and print it. So for that, I will click on File, New Notebook, and click on Python 3. So when you click on Python 3, it opens this notebook. We have this symbol hash for writing the comment. So I can write here program to calculate area and perimeter of a rectangle. So when we write hash, it becomes a comment, and for the new people who are new to programming, a comment means a non-executable code. So Python is just going to ignore this line. We write comments for our own reference. They are not executed. They're just to tell like what the code is for. So whenever I want to write some review statements, or whenever I want to explain something to the people who read my program, or for myself, if I later look at the program again, I should know why I wrote a particular statement. For that, you can use comments. Okay, so to start with, I need variables and I need to input the length and breadth. Since we need to perform arithmetic operations on that, we should convert the values into integers or floats, depending on which data type I want. So I give a message like enter length and breadth of rectangle. So I want length once and then breadth. Okay, so let's have it one by one. So enter length of rectangle, and the message should not be given with print, it should be given with input, and I need that value in L, and I want this value to be converted to an integer. So what do I write? L is equal to, so L becomes my variable, and whatever value is entered by the user, that's converted to an integer and it goes to L. Similarly, the second line is B is equal to int input enter breadth of rectangle. So it will show a message enter breadth of rectangle. the value would be entered and that's converted to an integer and goes to B. So I get the value in L, I get the value in B, then I have to calculate the area. So you don't need to declare the variables in advance. I can just write like this: A is equal to L into B. It will get the area. Then I have to get the perimeter. So formula for perimeter is 2 multiplied by L plus B. But if I write like this, it won't give me the desired result because I told you multiplication will be done first and addition later on. But what we want is that addition should be done first and then multiplication should be done. So we use parenthesis over here, that's the round bracket. So I write 2 into L plus B. So it will add L and B first and then multiply with 2. That's the formula for the perimeter. Now you want to print this. So I write print area is comma A. And then you want to print perimeter is. So we write perimeter is P. That's it. So we took the input, we calculated the results, and then we have to show it all. And now just click on run. It asks me the length of the rectangle, that's 6. Breadth of the rectangle, let's say 5. Press enter. It shows area is 30 and perimeter is 22. That's it. So that's how you write a very basic program in Python. Okay, I hope you understood how we've done this code. So now we had the next questions as well. So the next question was input price and quantity of a product. You have to calculate amount, 10% discount and net amount, that is amount minus discount, and you have to print the same. Then is input 5 numbers, find the sum and average. Input radius of a circle, calculate its area and circumference. And the fifth one is input principal rate and time and calculate the simple interest. Okay, I'll be solving these two for you. That is question number 2 and 3. And for question number 4 and 5 is your assignment. So you have to solve question number 4 and 5. And once you're done with it, just paste the code in the comment section below so that I can see how well you've done that. So you can paste the code of question number 4 and question number 5 in the comments below this video. Fine. So let's go and finish these two. That is how to calculate the discount, net amount, and how to find average of 5 numbers. Okay. Second one is to calculate bill. So program to calculate bill, let's say. What I have to ask the user is I have to ask for the cost. Since I have to ask for the cost, I just copied this line earlier, so I've just pasted it here. So cost in enter, I'll change the message, that was enter cost of the product. Okay, then I have to ask for the quantity. So the message would be enter quantity of the product, and I change this and let's name it as quantity. And then you have to find the amount, which should be cost multiplied by quantity. Fine. Then I have to find the discount, which is supposed to be 10%. So 10 into amount upon 100, or you can write 0.1 multiplied by amount. Both will give me the 10%. Then I have to get the net amount. Net amount should be amount minus discount. Simple. So I'll just do the calculations one by one. So this is sequential control. The statements are executed in the order you have written them. So they will be executed one by one and you get your result at the end. So I have to print the amount. So I write amount is this. Then I have to print the discount. So I type discount is discount, the variable name. So make sure whatever variable name you have given above in the statement, you have to write the same variable name over here. And variable names are case sensitive as well. So if you have given small dis, you have to write small here. If you write capital, it won't work. So this is it. That's my code, which takes cost and quantity, calculate the result, and shows the thing. So let's say cost of the product is 20 and I buy 4 of them. So the amount is 80, discount is 8, and the net amount is 72 after the discount. Simple. So this is how we can code to calculate the bill. Then the next one is to find the average of 5 numbers. To program to find average of 5 numbers. It's very simple. I just need to add those 5 numbers and divide it by 5, the sum. Sum should be divided by 5 so that we get the average. So I ask enter number 1 and that we take in N1, and then I copy this statement and I print it for the 5 times. So I've pasted it 5 times, and then what I'm going to change here is the number over here. The message should show enter number 2, enter number 3, enter number 4, enter number 5, and over here it should go to N1, N2, N3, N4, N5. So these are the variable names. Then you need to find the sum, which should be N1 plus N2 plus N3 plus N4 plus N5. Simple. And then we need to find the average, which should be sum divided by 5. So sum is a keyword here because sum is a predefined function that we'll discuss later. Let it be sum n. So I take the variable name as sum of numbers, that's sum n, and where I have added all 5 numbers to find the sum, and then I've taken sum n divided by 5, which gives me the average in the average variable, and then I print that is average is AVG. Done with this, run this code. It asks number 1, 80, 78, 45, 67, and 50. So the sum is 320 and the average is 64. So this is how we solve basic questions in Python. I'm saving this file as a notebook, and I'll be giving a link for this in the description section so you can download this file and run the same in your Jupyter notebook, right? And that would help you to make the other 2 programs. So I'll see who all comments it in the comment section that you have solved the other 2 questions, and just practice doing these basic stuff. I hope you understood how to use variables, how to use arithmetic operators in basic Python programming. If you found this video useful, don't forget to click the like button, and yes, do subscribe the channel so that you keep getting the regular updates. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.